Hello everyone. In my previous videos on budgeting, I mentioned that budgeting is a controversial topic. Some organizations, they use budgeting and they find it very useful for planning purposes. However, there are some organizations which do not like using budgeting because they believe that it is detrimental for their growth and progress. The purpose of this video is to present the views from both sides and highlight the points which they make regarding budgeting and why budgeting could be good and a bad thing at the same time. So first of all, I'm going to show you extracts of a research which was conducted in US. This was a really big research. It involved around 300 firms in US, and some of the conclusion which was given in that article is this. I'll give some time to read it. Now you can see that there is very strong opinion, positive opinion about budgeting, and this kind of links back to our very first slide on the purpose of budgeting, which takes us into the different advantages of budgeting. However, the other point of view is Jack Welch. She's one of the most successful CEOs for General Motors, one of the biggest US manufacturers firm, and he wrote this book Winnings in 2005, and you can see what he says about budgeting. So again, very strong opinion about budgeting, and this is a negative one, and we can see that these were the points that could be considered as disadvantages of budgeting. We did discuss when we were talking about motivation aspects in the previous video, and we discussed that motivation is an area which is debatable if it's a disadvantage or it's an advantage. So it depends on how you actually deal with budgeting. Now, these are two strong opinions, and why I asked you to think that, okay, what is the main reason for this difference in opinion? I'm sure you picked it up. It's the time, and one was written in 1987, where we were still right at the end of industrial era, and now 2005, after globalization, things have changed. So the biggest aspect of this is time, and a technique which has been very successful in the last 2 centuries, since the beginning of industrial era in 19th century. It is quite debatable now, and there are quite a few researchers and scholars who oppose using budgeting. General Motors is one of the organizations who have not used budgeting for a very long time now. I did mention that budgeting itself is a technique, and if it's good or bad depends on how you use it. And because of the criticism in earliest 21st century, late 20th century, budgeting has evolved as well, and it has come up with many different techniques which actually try to address the problems with budgeting. I will talk about these approaches in my next video, approaches to budgeting. So please keep an eye on for that video. I hope to see you again. Thank you very much for watching this video. Cheers.